All right, guys, here we are live. Me competing against the Super Bowl. We'll give people a little bit of time to wrap that up. I think there's like a minute left in the game. Something like that. We'll give it another minute and then we'll fire this up. Oh, one person's on. Whoever just jumped on, say a quick hello so I can put a nickname or a face to the little bonhomme. I'm still trying to see how the Super Bowl looks like. New England's going to win it. It's a big thing to compete against tonight. I know that. Jan, there you go, kiddo. How are you? Yeah, it's, if you're not into football, I like watching a little bit, for sure. It's a, big thing, and got to know who won the Super Bowl around the water bowl the next morning, that kind of thing. Jan, how's training going this week? How you doing? Yeah, it's a done deal. 26 seconds left. There you go. That's over. So let's shut that down. Good, yeah. Cool. What's your big victory this week? What's the thing you're most proud of this week, Jan? Janet Hawkins. What's the thing you're most proud of that you accomplished this week? Journaling more. Awesome. Really good. Super important, guys. Super important. It makes a huge difference. Who else is on here? Someone else just jumped on here. Say a little hello in the old chat so I can appreciate you and welcome you and thank you. We're going to get started shortly. Just talking with Janet, what she's most proud of this week. Oh, and that person's gone. Well, I'm not captivating enough. That's all right. Yeah, journaling is so important. You just get that mindset going overall. This week, a lot of good training. I'm pretty happy with that overall. Tuesday legs, knees are better, feeling a lot better. So weight more efficiently overall. Using my belt for hack squats, trying to get more out of that hack squat. It's a dirty exercise. The hack squat we have at the gym is just merciless. The angle it hits, a plate on that is like 3 plates on everything else. So it took some getting used to. And I just found, not having done legs for years, my knees are just rusty. Like just right down the middle on both of them, they just ached a little bit every time I did leg extension or a hack squat. So I kept, just working at keeping it a little lighter, but I had my heaviest hack squat, 3 plates aside, which is a lot for me. 7 reps all the way down, all the way up, and the knees felt really good. I stopped at 7 because I started to feel the knees a little bit, but good progress. Just every exercise from week to week. It's 7 weeks in for legs, just getting stronger, feeling the legs, feeling the isolation in the muscle groups I'm working. So really enjoying that. Thursday was back in biceps, and just going for just great back pumps and great bicep pumps. It's of all the body parts I work, it's probably my favorite and the one that I find I can just dial in quickly. So it's always a good time. A lot of variety. Just hit different angles. Hit the T-bar row. Went heavy for the T-bar row. Went to 4 plates for a set of 6 or 8. And that felt good. And then just did a couple other back exercises. Lots of sets. 4 to 5 sets, 12 to 15 reps. Short rest. Got a good pump in that overall. And then today was bench day. Shoulders feeling a lot better. So 405 flew off the chest. 455 went really smooth. Tried 475, and it was a little heavy. Popped off the chest, but I had my training partner sort of finish it for me. Just a little bit of strain on the shoulder, but I'll take that. I mean, compared to where I was 4 or 5 weeks ago. Then went to the incline, hit 315, 3 plates, and that's up 40 pounds from last week. Again, could have went heavier, could have done more reps, but just trying to work through that shoulder and get that chest pump going and the tricep pump. So really happy with that. And then just finished up with a lot of cable crossover, just to get the pecs activated, and then a lot of tricep work, push downs, flat blade, and then single arm push downs, just to get a lot of blood in there. But the cool part that we did is I sat down with a buddy of mine who's competed quite a few times and has done quite well, and started to do some work to get to the bottom of where do I think I'm going to, I need a target to aim for my body weight for November. That's 39 weeks away. So we sat down today and just started going over some of the breakdowns, what we need to determine once we have certain information, how we're going to calculate the calories and how we're going to calculate the deficit. So very interesting. I knew a lot of it. A lot of it I didn't realize how it ties into each other. So we probably spent a good hour and a half just going over like kind of phase 1. Phase 2 will be early next week. So what I have to do now is go out and the next day or so and just get a good accurate body fat reading. So I know what my lean body mass is, how much body fat I have. We were talking about goals. How lean do I want to go into for my first show? Being that it's 39 weeks away seems like a long time, but when you're trying to drop a significant amount of weight, you need some time as well. And, understanding that if we're going to lose, let's call it 3 pounds a week, that's not all fat, right? In that 3 pounds, there's going to be some lean muscle tissue. So we have to get our head around that. So I could sit there and do a body mass tomorrow and find out I've got 279 pounds of lean muscle mass. I'm not going to hang on to that as I go down from 350 that I am now, 39 weeks out. So as I get leaner and burn more fat, I'm also going to be giving up some lean muscle tissue overall. So out of the gate, we were talking about having a target of 10% body fat. I've never been that low. At 10% body fat, there's abs. You're not going to have crazy veins through your chest or anything crazy like that. I mean, depending on the level of bodybuilding show and the experience of the competitors, they're trying to go in there between 2 and 6%. We figure 10% for my first show will be really good. So depending where my body fat is. So I think, my body fat around 30, 32% at this point. I've lost a bunch of weight, already. But I mean, we'll know. I don't want to guess too much. But we figured out that say if it was 30%, and I want to get down to 10%, there's a 20% difference. So we did some calculations, what that means in fat mass, what that means in overall mass, and then what kind of calories I'll be looking at. And then, base calories, but then what kind of deficit will I have to run daily and weekly to drop that kind of weight? So if I was 30% and I want to drop 20%, I'm looking at 1.5 to 1.6 kilos per week, which is 3.5 pounds. That's a big cut for that. So I'd have to figure out if I want to drop 1.6 kilos a week, I have to go backwards and say what kind of weekly and daily deficit would that be from my basic metabolic rates. So all those things kind of now hinge on what that reading I'm going to get this week as to what my actual body fat and my lean muscle mass is overall. So kind of take those two numbers, we're going to plug them into the formulas that we put forward tonight. So if I'm at 30ish and I want to get down to 10, we're looking at, I don't have these notes in front of me, they're at the gym, but I think we're looking at 104 pounds from the 350. So that would put me at 245, 246 pounds. And again, a lot of things can happen as we move forward. I might drop faster. I might drop slower. I might hold on to more muscle tissue. And we won't know, right? We're going to weigh in daily. We're going to, and again, we advise against that. But with some of the stuff that we're going to follow, so yeah, that's the next step, right? That's the devil's in the details. So it's kind of cool to know I'm going to have some really accurate numbers to start with, and then go from there. And then at the same time, kind of intimidating, a little scary, saying, hey, 1.6 kilos per week, 39 weeks. I think we figured it out that if I hit the 1.6 kilos, I could be really close to the 10% in about 27 weeks, which would be really cool because it gives me an idea of what that looks like and how we can readjust. And then just wrapping my head around that and what's that going to look like. And then, if I figure out that my basic metabolic calorie rate is, let's say, 3,700, and I have to drop X amount, is that 700 calories? Is that 900 calorie deficit? We're going to work all that out. So will I be eating 2,200, 2,700 calories? Don't know yet. We're going to figure that out. And then once we know that, then we got to start playing with the macros. So let's call it, for just an example tonight, I figure out that my base is 3,900 calories. I need to, have a deficit of, let's say, 1,100 calories a day. So that would put me at 2,800 calories. Well, in that 2,800 calories, what are we going to do? Are we going to work with, a 40, 30, 30, 40% protein, 30% fat? Are we going to try a 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% fat? That's what we're going to figure out over the next week or so, and then start doing it. And what does that look like? Again, once we know that, what's that going to look like in meals? What's that going to look like? And how much chicken is that? How much beef is that? How much rice is that? I have a funny feeling that just the way I've been eating a little too high in protein and not enough in carbs. My fat's probably okay, only because I know I'm losing weight. But if I need to start dialing it into that 1.6 kilos, if that's kind of what we're looking at, I'm going to have to tighten that up a lot more. And then because, if I lose every 10 pounds that I lose body weight, if 7.5 pounds of that is fat and 2.5 pounds of that is lean muscle tissue, well, it stands to reason every 30 to 45 days, I'm going to have to reevaluate what's my lean body mass, what's my fat-free mass, what's my fat mass, and maybe have to, look at recalculating those numbers. So what I do for the first month might not be what I do for the next month. So it's really going to be a lot about collecting data, right? And then that intangible is going to be how accurately I create the meals, how accurate I measure, and that kind of thing. So for me, like I said before, one of the things I really want to work forward on is eating the same meals. So I'm cool if I have, if I have the same meal 4 times a day, and it's easy for me to maintain my macros, know exactly how many carbs I have, how many proteins I have, and how many fat. And that means I eat the same way for day after day, week after week. I'm okay with that right now. I don't know if, maybe 3 months down the road, I might crack and want some variety. But I think I'll also be better at determining calories and determining weighing food and being that, getting those proportions right overall. A couple of things we also talked about was, is it necessary to be 5 small meals a day, 2 big meals a day? At the end of the day, it's really about calories in, calories out, as fancy as you want to get it. So even figuring out what my base metabolic rate calorie intake needs to be, what my deficit needs to be to put me on track, that's a guideline. That's a very probably, how can I say, educated guideline, and it's a great starting point. But then we're going to be able to have to see and say, well, what are the results? What's that looking like week after week? And how's that feeling and what's going on? So definitely the next step into going forward. As I said, as of today, gives me 39 weeks to get to that level. I'd like to get there I'd like to see how tight and how close I can make it at about 28, 29. Jan says, I do 5 meals a day. It took a while to get used to. Why? Because you always felt full? Is that why? See some more people jumped on, guys. Go ahead and just say hi in the chat side, just so I can know who you are and say hello to you, and thank you for being here. So did you find like you were struggling getting that 5th meal in because you weren't hungry at all? And again, too, right? There's a point where you got to eat, right? Eating up, eating down, it's all difficult. I feel I'm in a better place for it now because I have brought my calorie consumption down. The size of my meals are down. I've been eating a lot cleaner. Had to set an alarm, say, hey, it's time to eat. That's kind of cool, too, if we can get organized enough that we just eat at 2 because it's 2 o'clock, and it's not because we're emotional. It's not because we're starving. I think that's a good place to be, and I think that's where the discipline comes in. So I'm looking forward to that. And like I said, I'm not as hungry as I was a month ago. So I can tell my blood sugars are stabilizing. I can tell I'm feeling better. I'm eating really clean. I introduced a lot of rice in the last 2 weeks into my diet, and I feel that difference. My muscles feel thicker and fuller with better carb source. I find I'm digesting it well, so it's good. It's good. Like, I mean, it's just, I like the way we're breaking it down into steps and seeing the difference overall. So pretty pumped about it. And like I said, we're going to know a lot more at the end of this week what those numbers actually look like and what we have to target and how I have to adjust things over time and during the weeks. Cole, hey big man, how you doing? Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. The Carcajou in the house. Hey, buddy, that's my training partner, Steph. He's a man of many, many nicknames and stuff. So Steph just went and had an MRI on his shoulder today, so we'll find out how that went. Cole, yeah, listen, I'm pumped about it. Like I said, I want to do some good things. Still want to maintain that strength overall, so that's why I'm still trying to hit that bench. As my shoulder loosens up and feel better, I want to keep pushing the bench press. So I'll put some of those videos up today. Like I said, the 455 went up better this week than last week. 475, a little dirty near the lockout and stuff. I just got a message I was going to see. The gentleman that's helping me with my food prep, he's just messaging me and telling me he's got more calculations for me. So he's, I think the one advantage I'm going to have with this, guys, too, is that I'm going to have a pretty good team working with me. I've got Steph, who's a phenomenal training partner. The Carcajou makes a big difference. I've got Eric that's training with us, and I've got Cameron and a couple of the boys, like just getting in there on the Tuesdays and Thursday nights and Sunday afternoons. And that just helps with the intensity and the focus. And we're all sitting down. We're all looking to see how well we can do with the food prep and the food timing as well, too, right? So it's good. It's you're not alone, which makes a big difference. I'm doing a big, obviously I'm telling everybody social media wise as part of the brand and who I am. So that gives me a big accountability. That gives me a big social contract out there so that it helps me stay focused, right? Because I don't want to be that douchebag that in 4 weeks from now goes, oh, I stopped or whatever. I really want to take this. I want to do it. It's been a bucket list thing for me for a long time, and I want to see it to the end. I want to challenge myself. I've always wanted to have abs. We're messing around with some numbers today, and body weight numbers like 220 and 210 came up, and I got to be honest, guys, that scared the shit out of me because I just, being over 300, close to 400, 350 for so many years, the thought of weighing 210 pounds frightens me. I feel like, if I go that light that I'll just blow away in the wind. I don't know. Who knows? I might just love it so much I never want to go from there. But that is a little bit hard for me to comprehend, right? And the ego, like the guy part, the guy that wants to be big still says, oh, 240, 250. And even then I'm like, oh, feels small, right? And that's relative. That's relative to me and my size, having been, over 300 for Christ, I'm 50, so for 30 years, right? It's hard. It's hard to even imagine, a 210. What am I wearing? Size 32 jeans? Like that's retarded. I can't even get a leg in that right now, right? I got a meet this weekend. Wanted to get 585 on paper. Hopefully, want to drop to 308. Cole, I know you can do it, buddy. I love it. You're a machine. Cole, that's just message. He's another guy, older guy, just a monster out there. Super strong guy, massive triceps on him. Getting back into it. And yeah, dude, I'd love to see you hit that 585. What's your body weight now? You said you want to drop to 308. What do you think you're at now? Yeah, and getting rid of dropping carbs is tough, right? And again, changing up the carbs. That's I got a little story I'll talk about tonight. It was my daughter's Sweet 16 this weekend. I had a couple opportunities. 350 at 56. Yeah, you and I are very similar, man. I'm 50 at 350 now, and you've been a big dude for a long time, right, Cole? So going down to 308, you're going to be a different guy. I mean, that's 42 pounds. You're gonna feel like a Kenyan. You're gonna want to run everywhere. It's gonna be crazy, right? But I have to admit, like one of the things I have to say, going down, just getting to the 350 at this fitness level, at the strength level, I feel really, really good. Like I just walk differently. I feel differently. My headspace is much different, right? At the end of the day, I'm really, really liking that. So it does intrigue me as to what's 300 going to feel, because I haven't been 300 in a long time. As I said earlier, I got down to 290 6-7 years ago, but I did it through conditioning. So I did it with kettlebells and running and stuff, and I got away from the weight. So, I was 290. I was still a big dude, but I didn't feel strong. I felt fit, but I didn't feel strong. So what I find different this time is, I'm still feeling strong, and I'm feeling thick, and that's because the muscles are coming online, right? So I'm really looking forward to it. You know, I want to see, even the guy stuff, right? The size of our arms and stuff. I mean, I have a 21-inch arm now. You know, will it stay 21? Will it go to 22 as I build more muscle mass there? Even as I get leaner, we'll see. That kind of thing. I mean, if you get lean, a 19-inch arm could look phenomenal. It could look huge. Look at Lee Labrada. I think at his peak, he's a short stature guy, but he was jacked and fit. And at his peak, I think his biceps were 16 and a half inches. But when you looked at him, they looked like they were 20 inches. They were thick, and they fit his body well. And then the moment he got on stage with the bigger guys, you could see the size he had. But that's the symmetry, right? That's the sport. This is a sport of symmetry and balance. So that'll be interesting as well, too, as I get leaner, to see what kind of symmetry and balance I do have, right? So there's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of cool stuff coming that I can't wait to get there. And what's that going to be like? And am I going to get to a position where, like, oh, I got to, my outer sweep of my quad needs to improve? But what's that going to look like? Like, there's so many things, right? And I was talking to Pat today, and just like I would tell any power lifter starting, you're going through your first meet. So it's about getting your first meet under the belt, right? It's the same for me. This is my first bodybuilding competition. So in the end, it really is about getting that first competition under my belt. The difference is, it's not a 16-week lead up like a powerlifting for a new person. It's not an 8-week lead up for me as a powerlifter for a meet. This is it'll be 45 weeks, 6 in and 39 to go. So that's a long haul. That's a long prep period. There's a lot of things that can happen physically and emotionally and mentally and circumstantially that, dealing with that and staying focused and not getting pushed off track. That's going to be, I know I'm going to have challenges. And there's a part of me that sort of sits in behind, that little voice you have in your head or in your gut that says, hey, let's see where Hos goes with this. Let's see how he handles this. Let's see how he handles that. So I'm looking forward to the show. Yeah, and not just the show of being on stage, but I'm looking forward to the show of getting there, like just the journey and stuff. So pretty pumped overall, man. So it's quite the thing. I was saying earlier, I want to talk about just a couple of things. So to show that I am getting my food more under control and feeling better about it. My daughter turned 16. We went to the restaurant on Wednesday night and had a good meal, clean meal overall. And it was time for dessert. And I'm a big dessert guy. And again, a celebration of my daughter and stuff. I easily could have said, wow, it's your birthday. I'm going to do this. And, it's midweek and there's no call for a cheat night and a cheat meal. So I didn't have a dessert. And you know what? I was okay with it. Socially, I wish I'm like, it would have been nice. But I wasn't craving it. I didn't feel like I missed out. Saturday night, was it Saturday night? Friday night. Yes, Friday night when it was like my cheat night, the cheat meal. I ate a third of a bag of theater popcorn. I had my son bring me home a bag of popcorn from the theater near where he works. He works at Lone Star, so he grabbed it for me on the way back. And then there was a little bit of birthday cake left over, and I had normally I would have had a piece this big. I had a piece like that big, and I ate it. But I got to tell you, like, within an hour and a half, I was sitting there watching a bit of TV, and my stomach got upset. I didn't feel good. It felt bloated. I felt like shit, and I was kind of not taken back, but I was like, that's the point that I'm looking for. Where eating so clean, all of a sudden throw a bunch of junk in there, high glycemic carbs, sugary carbs, big spike in the sugar, and then the insulin release to pull it all down. I felt that. I felt the surge, and I felt the pullback. And that pullback, I didn't like it. It was hard on my guts. I could just feel the grumbling, but I didn't like how I felt. The buzz in my head, and I'm like, yes, this is what I want. To the point where it doesn't, it's a deterrent to want to go and eat that way. So it's pretty cool. I thought that was a pretty cool spot to be, and that tells me that I am ready for that conversation we had tonight and setting up the macros and dialing things in even tighter. I don't deny and I don't claim to believe that, tightening things up and going into that deficit I need to go into now to drop that 1.5 to 1.6 kilos a week. I don't for a minute think that I'm not going to run into days where I'm starving and all I can think about is food and the Choco Fantastic treat. I know those days are coming. I'm hoping that I'm going to be better prepared for it and that I have enough mental momentum of the progress I'm doing to be able to fight that off and deal with it and figure things out. I know those days are coming, so I'm not naive in any way with that. But at the same time, I'm just gearing up and working, surrounding myself with the team and the circumstance and the food prep and the situation that I'm going to put myself in a position to as best as possible succeed going through that overall. Guys, if you're jumping in here, I see there's some people here. If you haven't subscribed already to the channel, subscribe. And if you do subscribe, hit that little bell to get a notification when we are coming online. I was going to have a buddy of mine, Phil Raoult, who's competed a few times, quite a bit in the and I'm learning the stages, not the bodybuilding, but the men's figure physique. Figure is gonna be mad. I said figure. Men's physique. Good guy, super lean, knows his stuff really well. But then he forgot that it was Super Bowl tonight, so we're gonna have him in next Sunday. Still strong. Your weight loss and what you see in the mirror will motivate you so much that you will be thinking less and less about those cravings. Yeah, you're right, Steph. I you know, you've told me that a few times already, and I believe you, and I want to be there, and that's kind of why I like doing that on our Sundays. I like doing that cable crossover most muscular. That's like my progress shot. I'm using that as my as a way to see how I'm improving and stuff. And you know, I'm not at a point where I'm ready to take my shirt off, so I'm not quite there. But as I get leaner, I'm sure that'll happen. But right now, just you know, having this the tank top or the sleeveless and showing the change just in my arms, you can see it in my shoulders and in my triceps and in my and the bicep tie-in. That is definitely getting leaner overall. So I just got it up here. I just want to double check something. So that's kind of like that's my checkpoint. So I can see what's going on, and I'm throwing it up on my Instagram every Sunday. So yeah, I have it. If you go to my Instagram under Curd Hos, at Curd Hos, or the Silverback Blueprint, it's the latest post I have up there. And you know, if you look back every week or so, you can see I'm hitting it, and I can see the difference. I can see the difference in the leanness, and I can also see the muscles are starting to thicken up a little bit more. I can more shoulder shape, definitely more tricep bicep thickness happening. So it's cool to see. You know, I'm pretty pumped with it. And even this, like just doing this every Sunday and letting people know how I'm doing and keeping you guys up to date on it helps. So I appreciate you guys being here. Same thing to you guys. If you have questions and you want to do, you know, is anything I could, you know, cover as a topic, let me know. You know, I don't know, like I said, 100% what I'm going to run into. If you have any advice, for sure, I definitely want to hear it and stuff. Like I just want to take you along for the journey and stuff. And I really believe too, though, that I'm just checking what's up on Facebook. You know, I really believe that I can do it, but I also believe that if I can do it, anybody can do it. Because at the end of the day, you know, we're all a little bit special. We all have superpowers, but we're all just human beings, guys or girls and stuff. So if one person can do it, the next person can do it. It's just a matter of acquiring that knowledge and then taking the appropriate action and then staying committed and focused to it, right? That's the essence of success for anything you want to do. So that's why I'm doing everything like I am as far as surrounding myself with training partners and mentors that know what they're doing. I'm surrounding myself socially with commitment to you guys, to people watching and that kind of thing, so that, you know, it's bigger than me, right? Talked about that many times before, is that the why has to be big. Right? Yes, I wanted to do this for, you know, since I was 20 and 30 and 40 and 50. You know, that's a big why, but also setting it up in such a way that I know that if I succeed, I'm going to be able to help a lot of other people succeed. That helps motivate me, inspire me. And really, I know that's what's going to pull me through the tough times, right? Like I said, I don't want to be that guy that sits back and wishes I had done better. I don't want to be that guy that's going to sit there and in 10 weeks from now say, oh, guys, make up some bullshit that I hurt my back or my, you know, we hear it all the time, guys that used to be strong until they hurt their back and stuff. And that fucking shit drives me crazy. Does it happen? Not as often as they would have you believe. I think a lot of times what happens is people just lose their focus and their drive, or they give up. And that's my other message too, guys. Everything I do, right? Over 40, over 50, lots of time, right? Cole, I firmly believe if you're still listening, you're going to bench 600 pounds, even though you're 56 and you're going to be 57. I truly believe you have the capacity to do it. It's, are you going to do it? Are you going to put that work in? Are you going to stay consistent, right? That's the challenge for all of us, right? Same with you, Steph, you know, as my training partner, you know, training partner in powerlifting, training partner in bodybuilding, right? I know you can do what you put your mind to, but I also know that us doing it together makes it more efficient for us, it guarantees us a better chance of higher success. We're not going at it alone, right? Simon, keep up the hard work, friend. If you haven't done so already, check info, keep your natural free testosterone high. Absolutely, absolutely. I have a couple supplements that I love to go to and stuff. So yeah, I like to keep my T levels high, especially as we get older. We have to keep our T levels high, and as we do more physically, we use up those T levels, so we need to replenish them and stuff. So yes, I'm taking some really strong herbs that I have access to, eating clean, high protein, high fat, so the building blocks for the testosterone are there. So absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for the kicking that in, Simon. Make sure you subscribe, man, so that you can be notified next time we're jumping in on this stuff. And yeah, that's the thing. So that's the scoop, guys. I just feel really good. Like I said, it was interesting, trying to compete with the Super Bowl tonight. But at the same token, that's the big thing too, right? We run into that. I have my 6-week transformation group that I'm working with, and I'll be honest, there was 21 of them in the group, and 6 of them were on tonight. A lot of them messaged me ahead of time. Hey, Curd, I'm going off to a Super Bowl party. I'm not going to be over there and stuff. Hey, but I brought my food. I know my food choices, so I get it. But at the end of the day, right, there's always going to be something that's thrown at us, right? There's always going to be stuff that's going to get in the way. So the better prepared we are, Janet, like going back to talking about journaling, to get our mindset strong, to get our head straight, to have a plan, to sit there and action and work that plan. That's the key, man. That's the key. So you're absolutely right, Janet, when you say believe it and achieve it. But really, I think we're a lot of people, and myself included in the past, on anything I never finished or got to the level I wanted to go, it was the achieving it. It was the staying with it and staying focused and doing it when you don't feel like doing it and doing it when no one else is going to support you. At the end of the day, I always say, and I try to teach this to my kids, and anytime I'm coaching younger guys and girls, the most important form of respect is self-respect. And if we can self-respect ourselves enough and love ourselves to such a high degree that we need to, well, we're going to want the best for ourselves, and we're going to challenge ourselves, and we're going to hold ourselves to task. We're going to hold ourselves to a higher standard because we truly believe we deserve it, right? And at the end of the day, we also understand that no one else is going to do it for us. No one else is going to give us that. No one else is going to hand it to us, right? Because if they did, it wouldn't mean as much. If they did, it wouldn't have as much value, right? It's really about the standards and limitations we put onto ourselves, right? Limitations need to be good limitations. Limit the amount of food you eat, the alcohol you drink, the negative activity, the negative atmosphere you surround yourself. That we need to limit. What we want to not have any limits on is our imagination and our focus and our dreams, our passion and our purpose. That shit, we got to take the limits off that. We got to take all the limiters off that. We got to roll hard with that kind of thing. One of the things we did, I'm working with a couple of my staff, and we're basically breaking down a book called The 10X Factor by Grant Cardone. And every Monday we actually sit down and read a chapter. We've read the chapter during the week, and then on the Mondays we actually break it down, and then we go over what we got out of it, what we think it meant, and what how that adds to what we're trying to do with the business and the brand, and working with our clients and helping them be successful. And one of the last chapters was called "Burn the Place Down," and really, what it sum it up is that as things are going well, put more coal on the fire, put more wood on the fire, burn that brighter, add another positive, thing to do, add another to-do list on that, add another task that's going to keep the momentum going, that's going to push you and drag you and move you towards those successes. What we don't want to do is rest on our laurels. We don't want to sit back and take too many days off and sit there and think, hey, we've arrived, or hey, you know what, I can take my foot off the gas pedal a little bit. We can't. We can't because, there's all kinds of forces looking to drive us back and hold us back and limit our success. But also, as we get older, we can't because we have less and less time to do this. And that's the thing. We got to drive. We got to drive. And as things are going well, add another good thing. Add another good thing. Like, just make that fire burn higher and higher, brighter and brighter, hotter and hotter, so that the momentum keeps pulling us forward. And even if we try to take our foot off the gas for a day or a minute or an hour, we can't. We've got so much momentum pushing us forward, right, that we're going to succeed at higher levels and higher levels. Sunday tonight, I'm not going to lie to you, Super Bowl, and I knew the attendance would be low in my 8 p.m. with this 6-week program. I wasn't sure I was going to go tonight. It would have been easy for me to say, hey guys, you know what, we're going to skip this week. We'll reconvene next week. It would have been easy. People would have understood. It would have made sense, because that's the average. That's what average does. And I'm like, no, I don't care if one person shows up. I don't care if no one shows up. I said, I'm going to record this. I'm going to go through this, and then someone can watch it later on YouTube. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. It's great having you guys on and be able to go back and forth and knowing that you're listening. That helps me just focus and be able to talk better about what I want to talk about. But at the end of the day, I'm going to do it no matter what. And it's doing those small things when no one's looking. That's where the progress happens. Working as hard as you can when you're alone in the gym is when there's 30 people in the gym. That's where progress happens. Getting on the bike and doing your steady state when you don't feel like it or when there's nobody around, right? That's when progress happens, right? Because it's easy to say, oh, fuck it. I'm not going to do it today. No one saw me not do it. I'm losing weight. Things are going well. I can get away with it for today. And maybe we can for today. But then the momentum goes the other way, and that's 2 days, it's 3 days. Next thing you know what? I didn't have a good weigh-in. You know what? I'm not hitting my targets. Now I got pressure. Now I have to make up ground. Now I feel like shit about myself, right? I don't want to go that way. I want to be the opposite. I want to be feeling better and better like I am now. I want to be more proud of myself. If you guys watch the videos that we've been doing on this so far in the live feeds, you can tell my voice. The energy is increasing, the excitement, the motivation is getting better and better because things are happening, right? But it would have been easy tonight and say, Super Bowl, no one's going to be on. I'll take a pass, I'll watch TV, and I'll chill. I'm not going to do it. Don't want to do it. Don't want to give myself that lower standard because I've done it many times, and the slippery slope down is so fast. I'll tell you right now, without even trying hard, those 40-plus pounds I've lost since the 15th, I could gain back in 2 weeks. Just by eating shit, by doing less, taking my foot off the pedal, taking my eyes off the prize, no problem. Because I'm really good at gaining weight because I've done it many, many, many times. Where I need progress and focus is losing the weight, keeping that off, and staying focused and changing who I am, what I do, what my lifestyle is, what my day-to-day activities are to become that person. If I want to weigh 250 pounds, I have to do the things that a 250-pound bodybuilder does every day. It's as simple as that. From sleep to recovery to eating to stress to exercise, right? Someone becoming 250 pounds, whether they're growing up to that or growing down from that, like I am, certain things have to happen on a regular basis for the body to make those changes. As Pat was saying earlier today, it's not bro science, it's science. You want to weigh this much? You weigh this much, here's what we got to do. And once you get there, these are things you have to do to stay there, right? And that is the hard part. That's the change, is changing the pattern of thought, the pattern of activity, and making it so that's just who we become and that's who we are. Over 4.5 years sober, it's no problem for me to say when someone offers me a drink, no, thank you. Oh, you don't drink? No, I don't drink. Because I've made it, that's who I am now. But before, when I first stopped drinking, I would say stuff like, oh, I don't drink anymore. And that would lead to, oh, how come? Oh, I thought you used to drink. It would lead to a whole bunch of discussions taking me in a direction I didn't want to go. But I hadn't accepted the fact that I had changed who I was when it came to that. So I don't drink. It's no longer I used to drink and now I don't drink. I don't think that way. I just don't drink. I'm not a drinker, right? And 9 times out of 10, when someone offers me a drink, I said, no, thanks, I don't drink. It ends there because I also believe it. I'm convicted about it. I believe it. It's the confidence is there, how I present myself. So what happens is they're like, oh, okay, dude doesn't drink. If it's someone who knew me from years ago and they don't know I'm sober, then there's a little bit of a conversation, right? But that's the thing. I was talking to one of the guys tonight in the 6-week program, and he said that there was a birthday party at work, and when they came up and offered him the cake and the beer, he says, "No, I'm good. I've already eaten the stuff." He says it was easier. And I asked him, I said, "Did you feel confident saying?" He goes, "Yeah." And I said, "When you said it that way, did anyone try to push you and egg you on?" He goes, "No, nobody." I said, "Because now your delivery is more confident. You believe it, and because you believe it, right? You carry that about you. People feel that, and it registers with them." Whereas if you say it in such a way where you're showing some weakness or you're showing some tentativeness or you're showing that you are tempted, well, people that are perceptive are going to be like, well, come on, you can have one. They'll feel that you want one, but it's like someone that's shy that says they're not shy. That kind of thing. No, I'm good. I'm not shy. Yeah, I can tell you're shy. Come on in. Let's meet everybody. Right? That's the difference of the confidence and owning it. So I'm looking forward to see what does a 275-pound Curd look and think and feel like? What does a 250-pound Curd look and think and feel like? Because it's going to be different than the 350-pound Curd, just like it was different from the 395-pound Curd or 94, right? That's a different Curd. And the Curd at 350 is going to be a different Curd at 300. And it's going to be a different Curd at 275, and it's going to be a different Curd at 250. And it needs to make those changes. I need to grow. I need to evolve. Stay there, right? That's the thing, and that's the one thing I think that I'm going to have to really work on to make sure that I am able to do, so that I stay there. Because I can go down to 250, feel really good. I'm good. I'll have this meal, I'll have that meal. Next, I'm 275, I'm 280, I'm 290, I'm 300, and still feel pretty lean and light compared to being 395, right? So I know I think that's going to be my biggest challenge. The reset, right? The Curd 2.0, 3.0, the Curd at 250. That has to be a different guy, and I have to spend a lot of time as that guy to really make that who I am at that point. That to me is going to be the challenge. That to me, I'm looking forward to that, and I'm excited to get on the other side of that. Because I also know that in getting there and achieving that and becoming a different version, an much more evolved version of myself at that point, what doors are going to be open to me at that? What opportunities are going to be open to me that aren't there now because I'm not that person? I'm not quite that person at that level. I don't think that way. I don't operate at that level. So to operate to that level, to get to that change, I'll be a different version of Curd. And that different version of Curd, other things are going to present themselves that will not present themselves to this version of Curd. I know, a little freaky, a little weird, but I was thinking about that the other day, right? Is that, if you go back to one of my podcasts, I talk about the myth about luck, right? Luck is just where preparedness meets opportunity. When I become so prepared that I become 250, 275, I don't even want to use the word 275. I want to use the word 250. When I become the 250 Curd, the preparation it takes to get there, the opportunities that'll show up because of that, I'm really excited about. And where will that lead? Where will that become? Where will that take me to my next adventure? Where will they take me to my next goal? Right? I want to see it. I want to see what that's all about. Because every time I've made these evolutions in my life, other things have happened. What I'm able to do now, I couldn't do 10 years ago and 20 years ago and 30 years ago. So as I keep evolving, as I get honest with myself, as I work hard on making myself better and improve, and I know I have such a long way to go and I'm not perfect and I have so many things to deal with, but I know as I create more mastery of myself and I evolve, things around me evolve phenomenally, right? And that sometimes is the one thing that does keep me going, because there's mornings where I get up and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to make today work. Right? I don't know how I'm going to get to the end of the week. I don't know how I'm going to solve the situation I'm in with work, with the brand, with the business, with whatever, right? Sometimes we just don't know. Sometimes we just have to go on the momentum that we're doing the right thing most of the time, and that we have a purpose, we have a vision and a purpose and a goal. And we know that as long as I move towards that, all these things are going to work themselves out. And if we want more opportunity, if we want more possibilities, if we want to evolve, we also have to understand that more issues are going to come at us. Issues are going to come at us then, in the future, as we evolve, that didn't come at us before. So as the good things improve, so do some of the shitty things, and so some of the stresses and the different things. That's what I think scares a lot of people or pushes a lot of people back, is that if I go out to the next level of me, I'm going to run into issues as well that I don't have now and I didn't have before. And understand that that's okay. Yeah, that's right. Right? So you have to sit there and understand that you're going to get the shit kicked out of you once in a while. You're going to get a punch right in the face, right? When you least expect it. But at the end of the day, that comes with the territory. But the upside is so much more, right? Because I'd rather succeed at a higher level. I'd rather deal with stress as I succeed at a higher level. I'd rather take a punch in the face as I'm moving forward than taking the punch in the faces as I'm moving down. Someone said the other day, we're talking about money and things like that. And, someone said, well, money isn't everything. I go, yeah. And, and money can make you stressful. I go, yeah, but not having money can make you stressful, right? Being unhealthy is stressful, right? Sitting there doing nothing and wishing you could do stuff and living on the couch and doing nothing with your life is stressful, right? And if we're going to go through stress, because no matter what side we're on, improving, right, or stagnant or backtracking, either one of those three positions, we're going to have stress. Well, I'd rather have the stress as I'm moving forward. I'd rather moving forward stress, improving stress, evolving stress than stagnant stress or backtracking stress, losing ground. getting unhealthier physically, unhealthier mentally, right? Struggling with relationships, struggling with everything and stuff. I'd rather get away from that stress than turn around and move forward and improve and work on those things to make all those areas better and dealing with the stress that comes with that. That's right, Janet. Use it to fuel the fire. Absolutely, right? Talked about it before. Burn brighter, right? Push. Throw another log on that fire. Little steps at a time. That's the other thing I think is super important. Is I think sometimes we get a little worried that it's going to be too much. One small step at a time. I was talking to one of the guys at the gym the other day, and he said he's got his food better, he's journaling, but he just can't get his physical activity going. And I said, listen, you're absolutely right. I can see that you're stuck on it, but don't make it a big thing. Make it a 4-minute thing. And he goes, well, what do you mean by that? I said, simple. I said, you're journaling every morning? He goes, yeah. I said, excellent. Halfway through your journal, I just want you to do 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, and 10 squats. I want you to set a timer on your phone for 4 minutes. I just want you to do 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 5, 5, 5. I don't care. Just for that 4 minutes. Because you can do 4. You got 4 minutes in the morning? He goes, yeah. So just fill 4 minutes with that. And then write down in your journal how many rounds you got. And then do that every second day. That's it. I said, if you do that, within 2 to 4 weeks, you'll be working out almost every day. You'll be working out for 20, 30, 40 an hour, 60 minutes. Because you're going to start small. And then you're going to build on that. You're just going to get that habit started. You're going to add that little thing that you're already doing positive things. You're already getting up earlier. You're already having a good drink. He's drinking mineral water with salt and lemon. Very good, very healthy. You're already journaling. So you're doing all these positive things. I just want you to add one more thing. You're already there. Don't make it a big thing. Don't make it overwhelming, right? But also commit to yourself that you're going to do that 4 minutes. Commit to yourself as of tomorrow, that 4 minutes goes in halfway through your journaling. Because you also have to push yourself. You also have to turn around, grab yourself by the shoulders, slap yourself around and say, hey, right, do it. So for me, when I talk to myself that way, it's like, come on, Hos. It's last thing, Hos, right? Just fucking do it. Just do it. I deal with that more when I have to get up in the morning. I just want to sit there sometimes. I just want to lay there. It's warm. It's comfortable. Maybe I have a day or some shit I have to do and I don't want to do, right? Now I'm like, I count to 5 and I sit up. Sit up. As soon as I sit up, it's cooler. I'm waking up. And then I head over, big glass of water, brush my teeth, right? Into the shower. Boom. Just make it automatic. You're going to wake up at some point. Usually it's in the shower. Finish off with 1 to 2 minutes of cold water in the shower. I come out feeling super fresh. Journal, do my stuff, get things ready. Any running around I have to do, I nail it. Get to the gym. Right now I'm at the gym for 1 p.m. most days, Monday to Friday. And then if I have meetings, I have meetings. If not, then Tuesdays, Thursdays at 8:30, the boys show up. We hit the workouts. Sundays at 1 to 3, we hit the workout. It's all scheduled now. It's all in there, right? And I've got guys coming to train with me, so it's not like I can sit there and go, fuck it, I don't want to do it. Whereas if I was on my own, it'd be natural. I'm tired today. We'll do it tomorrow. Guys, it happens to all of us. So I'm setting things up circumstantially that force me, gives me no choice. I'm not going to let 3 guys down that came, to work out because they're clients and they're also customers and they're members and they're guys I like. So I don't want to let them down. So I'm like, let's go. Let's do it. It was funny at the end of today's workout. Steph's like, come on, we'll do some core on the, we have a new core exercise machine there from Atlantis. He's like, come on, we'll do it. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it. He's like, come on. So you know what? I did it. I did it because they were all doing it. If they weren't there, I wouldn't have done it. I know sure as shit I wouldn't have done it. But there's times where I've, talked, a couple of those guys and, I don't know, I'm going to make it. I'm like, oh, that's whatever. I said, I'll just work out and whoever shows up, we'll just get ahead of you guys and you'll have to play catch up, or I'll figure something out to say that I know is going to motivate them. And you know what? They show up. Right? Because we need that little push sometimes. We need to be a part of something. That's why I like to do this thing. That's why I've got Hostile, so people can follow it, be a part of it, so they feel they're not alone. So they do this, something bigger than them, something to be a part of. The price of admission to hang out with Hostile is just do your best. Just work hard. Best effort. I don't care how much you bench. I don't care how much you lift. I don't care how much you lose. As long as you're moving, as long as if your goal is to lose, you're losing. As long as your goal is to get stronger, you're working hard. That's the price of admission to hang out with Hostile. But you try and you put the effort in. It's not the results. The results will come. I know the results come. Right? The price of admission to hang with us is do your best, right? Show up. Show up. That's the biggest thing. I tell people all the time. You hear it all the time, right? 80, 90% of the battle, showing up. Just show up. Don't avoid things. It's hard. I know it's hard. Because if it wasn't, we'd all have abs. We'd all have millions of dollars. We'd all be super fulfilled, right? We'd be, we wouldn't have arms and legs. We'd just be brains floating around. We'd be so evolved. We're not there yet. We got lots to do, right? So I get it. We're all going through it overall. But be a part of something. Choose a goal. One of the other things I was talking to, we're at about the 3-4 week mark in my 6-week transformation group. And tonight, one of the things I talked about, I said, guys and girls, now that things are happening, you're getting control of your food, you're getting the weight loss, you've got the journaling starting to happen, things are starting to move forward, we're getting that physical and mental momentum. What you need to think about now is that in 2 weeks, this 6 weeks is over. So I need you to double down your efforts to have an even better 2 weeks, but I also need you to start thinking about what is next. Because it doesn't end there. It shouldn't end there. If it ends there, then what was it all for? What's next? If you lost 20 pounds, but you have 40 to lose, do the next 6-week challenge with us. Right? If you lost the weight you want to lose, well, what's next? Pick a race, pick an event, pick something that's going to keep you training and moving forward and paying attention to your food. Pick a trip where you want to go down south and you want to go there and wear no shirt if you're a guy or a bikini if you're a girl. Like, pick something to keep you moving and training towards it. I often see a lot of people go from weight loss and get fit, and then I see they start the powerlifting with us because that's the next thing. That's something different they can try. And then, some of them love it. So now they can get stronger and focus on that. So it gives them a reason to keep training, keep eating better, keep being a part of something, keep having to improve. We need to keep moving forward. We need to have a reason to get up. We need to have a reason to eat better. We need to have a reason to have a better organized day so we get to the gym. We need those purposes. We need to have that why. And when we have that and we're moving towards it, things will happen. We'll get things that we thought we were going to get. We'll get things that we didn't think would ever happen because you don't know everything that's going to happen along the way, along the journey, along your quest. You're the hero in your own movie. You may have heard that before. Make it a quest, right? What's going to happen? We see these in these epic movies. We're going on a quest. We're going to, rescue the princess. We're going to find the chalice. We're going to, whatever it is. We're going to right the wrong. We're going to avenge our father, or whatever those classic movies are. It's always a story. There's always the hero. There's always a challenge. And there's always the motivation. There's always a tipping point, right? We need to do that for ourselves, right? We are the hero in our own movie. It's up to us. We're the superhero, right? It's about us getting to where we want to get to. I want all of us to look back and go, wow, what a great 3 months, 6 months. What a great year. What a great decade. But if you don't aim forward, you can't look back. Because what you're going to look back on is regret. Right? It's terrible. It's terrible. Sometimes as I'm driving around or I'm walking around and I see an older person, and I'm talking someone who's like 80 or 90, right? And they have trouble walking and standing up. Part of me really fucking hopes they had a great life and they can look back and say it was all worth it and they did what they wanted to do. But the sad reality of it is I know that the majority of people live with so much regret. The nursing homes are full of regret. The graveyards are full of unanswered dreams and aspirations and regret. And I mean, that's what scares me. That's what I don't want to see happen to me or to any one of you, right? I don't want regret. I want to sit there and say, hey, I said I was going to do it and I did it and I got it, or I got this close, but then I did this and I did that. There's a lot of people when I said I was going to bodybuild, they're like, yeah, sure. Now they're seeing I'm pretty serious about it and I'm moving forward. They're like, maybe I can do it. Or, let's see what goes on. I'm sure and I know there's haters and detractors out there that are like, let's see what he does. Let's see what happens. I guarantee it, because that's human nature, right? There's people out there going to want to derail you. There's people out there that don't want you to succeed. Part of it is because they just don't want anyone to be happy. There's people out there that don't want you to succeed because they feel that if you succeed, then it shows that they didn't succeed. Right? They don't want you to have anything that they don't have. They don't care that you're willing to work for it and break your back for it, and they're not. They'll never think that. They'll think you're lucky, you're gifted, you cheated, someone gave it to you. Because in their mind, they don't want to deal with the fact that you worked your ass off to do it. Because if they feel that, if they truly believe that, if they believe that you worked your ass off to achieve stuff and they didn't achieve what they wanted to, then they have to admit they didn't work their ass off. They didn't do everything they could. So it's easier to pull other people down, right? There's a story of the bucket of crabs. A lot of different motivational speakers have told this story over and over time. And basically it goes something like this. Whoever the motivational speaker happens to be on holidays in the East Coast and happens to be walking by a wharf, right? And happens to be seeing a fisherman that's got a bucket with some crabs in it. And then he throws his reel out to get a fish, pulls it back, and there's another crab. He takes the crab, he throws it in the bucket. And then the guy's watching the bucket, and he sees these crabs trying to crawl out. And there's one that's almost out, and he tells the guy, "Hey, aren't you worried that this crab's going to get out?" He goes, "No." And the guy goes, "Well, why?" Because the other crabs won't let him. And if you look in the bucket, you see the other crabs reaching up and grabbing that crab and pulling it down all the time. So the whole metaphor is for people around you that aren't the right people for you. They're always going to want to try and drag you down. They're always going to keep you down to their level. So that's why you got to change who you hang out with. You have to make your circle of 5 a strong circle. Who you spend the most time with is who you become, right? So that's why a lot of times when people start training at the gym in hostile, the ones that really like it end up staying a long time because they make friends there. Hey, I'll see you on Tuesday. Yeah, I'll see you on Tuesday. They come from different walks of life, but they have this one thing in common now, that they like working out and they like being there and they like knowing each other and saying, "Hey, man, how you doing? I'll get a spot," or whatever. They develop that friendship, right? So that it's easier to want to get there. I don't feel like going tonight, but Steve's going to be there, so I'm going to go. I'm not feeling it, but you know what? I know the girls said I said I'd be there, so I want to train with them and do the ab class with them, right? In your fitness, in your life, in your progress, hanging out with those people is only going to drag you down, right? Because you can sit there, and how many times can you say no to pizza or beer or whatever's happening around you, right? How many times can you do that? So why put yourself in that situation? But it's hard, right? Because then at that point, you have to start hanging out with different people. Making new friends is hard. It was hard when we were 5. It's hard when we were 50, right? No doubt, right? Guys, if you're just jumping on and you haven't jumped on this before, make sure you subscribe and hit the little notification bell. We do this every Sunday. We do a live stream about my progress, about being a 50-year-old bodybuilding rookie. And we go over a bunch of things that I'm dealing with and what I'm working on and what's happening, answer questions, and just share the journey as to what's happening. So going back to what we were talking about, your circle of influence and who you hang out with, right? That's going to change. That's going to change, especially if you don't like where you are. If you don't like where you are in life, with your business, with your job, your career, your work, right? Your goals, your aspirations, you got to change that. You got to change where you hang. You got to change who you hang out with. If you hang out with 4 losers, guess what? You're the 5th loser. Like the Beatles, the 5th Beatle, right? At the end of the day, right? You need to do that. It's hard. It's uncomfortable. It's scary. But they don't like me, right? Most time, though, positive people. Good one tonight, still strong. Thanks, buddy. Hey, you were supposed to bring me some of that beef jerky in tonight. I expect to see some this week, buddy. Stop teasing me. Thanks, Steph. Great workout tonight. Let me know about the results on your MRI. That's Steph from Still Strong. Who you hang out with. That's why, it's no accident that Steph and I love training together, because we're the same type of guy, right? He drives a truck. I run a business. That's different. We're different guys that way. But you know what? He's late 40s. I'm 50. We love training. We've been training a long time. We've gotten back into it. We have a lot in common that we get to share and be around with each other. And we inspire and motivate each other. And we enjoy hanging out with each other, training each other, and pushing each other. We also look out for each other, right? That's what we want to do. That's the kind of circle that you want to hang out with. That's who you want to be. That's who, people that tend to tune in and people that listen to my podcast, that's what they're looking for. All right. You hear that, guys? You guys all witnessed. Steph says he's bringing me some jerky on Tuesday. Because if he doesn't bring me on Tuesday, I'm going to do a live cast on Tuesday about how Steph did not bring me jerky on leg day. But that's what it is, right? Hang out. Be part of something different. Be part of something that you want to be a part of. I think, to me, that's the hardest part, but that's the part that when you do that starts making a big difference. I try to pick an event once every month, once every 2 months that I go to where, I'm the small fry. a business event where I'm nobody compared to who's in the room and the money that's walking in there, because I know that I'm going to learn a lot. And I know that it might open up an opportunity, right, that I don't have right now. I'm going to learn something. I'm going to be a little bit uncomfortable. But then there's people that sit there and watch and see the effort, and they admire effort. People that achieve things admire effort because they know that's what leads to things. And I find the more successful people become, they're often looking to help other people because someone helped them at one point when they were ready to be helped, and they put themselves available, and they were in that mindset that they need to improve and be honest with themselves and set a higher standard and do what it takes to get to the next level. Something changes within you, something changes around you, that other people that have become successful at a higher level and have gone to that next level recognize, and they want to pull you up because they want to build a community. And they know that part of it is paying it forward by helping others when they see that they're ready to be helped, that they deserve to be helped because they're putting the work in. And they're going to take whatever little bit of help they get and do 10 times with it overall. That's the magic. That's what happens when you put yourself out there. Whenever someone walks new into my gym, I'm appreciative they're there, but I also understand that it took a lot for someone to walk into my facility for the first time. So I want to sit there and welcome them and thank them and make them feel acknowledged and find out what it is that they're looking for and do my best to help them. And if I can't help them, send them on their way to someone who can help them based on what they're looking for. I want them to feel appreciated. I want them to be rewarded for having the courage to walk into a place for the first time, because that takes a lot. It takes a shit ton of courage to do something different. I've had many people come that are members of my gym and told me they wanted to come for months and they heard about it and they had friends or whatever, but they were intimidated because they knew that going in there would make changes and force things, and they heard things and stuff about, we work hard and we do great stuff and lots of good results. They were intimidated by that. Then they finally had the courage to come in. I want to make sure that I reward them for that effort and by taking that step and doing the one thing that I always say is important: show up. I tell my new people, you want results? Show up. We'll take care of the rest. Just show up. Whatever it takes to get here. Be here 3 times a week. Things are going to happen. Things are going to improve. Right? But let them know that they did a great thing by showing up the first time. They conquered a fear, a monumental event. When people compete in my meets for the first time, I stand them out. My new people, welcome them. New blood. Proud, courageous effort. Because most times when people do something for the first time and they enjoy it, they wish they'd have done it 5 years sooner, 10 years sooner. Those of us that have done things that we were afraid to face and do and finally do it, know that. But we need to remind ourselves that. That's why we need the confidence. That's why we need to focus. That's why we need to challenge ourselves, to keep that alive and keep that fresh, to know that out of challenges, great things come out of challenges. But then, when you see people challenging themselves, encourage them, acknowledge them, give them some props. A lot of you people here listening and stuff like this work out at different gyms. When you see that new girl or that new guy working hard in a workout, you make sure you go by and you tell him, good job. You make sure you tell him that it's awesome what he's doing. You make sure you tell him you're proud of him or her, because they need to hear that. They need to hear it because they're at their weakest point. They're at their lowest point. They need the encouragement because they need to know the right track. Guys, that's it I'm going to talk about tonight. Got an hour in. It's 11 o'clock. Next week, I hope to have Phil on. We're going to talk some more about that. And then I'm also going to talk about, I'll have definite numbers, and I'll let you guys show what we're up to. If there's something you want to talk about that you weren't comfortable saying in front of everyone, let me know. Thanks, Jan. I'm proud of you too, kiddo. I see what you're doing. I'm following you on the Facebooks and on social media. I know you're doing some big things for yourself, and I'm super proud of you. A couple of years ago when we first met, there was something I knew about you. You were ready to make some changes, right? So I'm not surprised about what you're doing, but I'm very proud of what you're doing as well, right? You keep that shit up, girl. We'll run into each other and something soon. I know we will. But other than that, guys, reach out if you have any questions. If there's anything I can do to help you, reach out, let me know. Other than that, guys, watch on social media, a bunch of stuff coming up. And at the very least, I'm going to see you guys next week. I'll talk to you guys later.